Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, here today with my update number 404. Today is September 20th, Saturday, September 20th, 2025. Yeah, so I'm trying to squeeze my update in here real quick while my sister has out running some errands and all that. I have, excuse me, dust on my computer. I guess good news and sort of, I don't know, news. We finally sold our house. And now we're sort of in the process of picking a house to put an offer in. We've looked at a few different houses, and they all have pluses and minuses, of course. The big minus is it's like on the far corner of town. You know, Phoenix is made up of a bunch of little, there's Phoenix proper, that some areas, and then there's like, you know, Chandler, Tempe, Mesa, Scottsdale, whatever, and Gilbert, and further out as you go, there's Queen Creek and Santan. So the sort of Queen Creek Santan area is where we're moving, and it's kind of like all the way across town from where we live right now. But it's nice that, you know, what we're looking for is a smaller house that's less mortgage and less maintenance, less, you know, air conditioning, you know, what do you call it? You know, a smaller house to heat and cool, you know. So anyway, so the house that we're thinking about moving into is it's smaller. The bedrooms are smaller, you know, and all that. So we're having to think about, you know, what we're going to have to get rid of and all of that. So, but so anyway. So that's good, but that's going to happen very soon because our closing date for this house, when we're supposed to be out of the house, is like October 21st, so literally a month. And so we have to be able to get into that house and move into it, lickety split. And the house that we're looking at, that we're considering right now, is empty. So we'd be able to move in, you know, pretty quickly. But we'd have to like buy some appliances and things like that, and that's going to be expensive. So, you know, like I said, there's pluses and minuses, you know. So it's a very stressful, you know, very big transitional time. It'll be in the next few weeks, but hopefully things will work out the way they're supposed to work out, you know. So anyway, so that's a big update on my just sort of, you know, life that's going on. Otherwise, what's going on this weekend, and I went some last night, and I have not yet gone back today, but I'm planning on it. Is the Harvest Moon Hangout. Started yesterday afternoonish, and is going on through the weekend. So like I said, I plan to try to get back to that as soon as possible today. So let's go ahead and get started. So last week I showed the two finishes that I had, the Seven Pines and the Deep Waters patterns. And I finished those last week. And those were my September whips. So all I had left to do for September was my new starts. The other thing I was wanting to do, I had anticipated, I was thinking that in, you know, maybe September or October, when I did not have the pressure of the summer, cross-stitch camp, summer projects, that, you know, that once September started, I'd be back to my regular WIPGO things, and that I'd be able to maybe do a little bit on those new things that I bought. I bought two little crochet kits, and one punch needle kit. And so I thought, well, September would be a good time to start one of those new things, because, you know, I don't know anything about crochet really. I mean, I don't know if I remember. I've done like one tiny little bit of crochet once upon a time, years and years and years ago, and I don't know that I remember any of it. You know, I remember Eve teaching me what to do, whatever, but yeah, I don't know. And so these little kits are supposed to be like for beginners, I guess. And so I was anticipating starting those like maybe this month or whatever. But because we sold the house and I'm going to have to spend the next month literally packing up everything, I don't want to start any new messes, you know. So so last night, like, you know, and this morning, I guess, I was kind of looking at things going, well, what can I put away? What can I pack up? What can I box up? What can I throw away? You know, what can I donate to Goodwill or whatever? And so, so yeah, I've got to do that. I've got to seriously do that. So maybe Monday I can get started on some of that. Anyway, but until then, I've got what I've been doing. So I did the 2 new finishes, and so I had the 2 new starts, and one of them was the blue flower Mary Menagerie. Now, I had one of them was my new start, and was one of my new starts in August, and so I did a little bit of. In August, the Killdeer was my new start, and I had started just the brown body of this middle Killdeer, and so so that was August. For September, my new start was, ironically enough, this little axolotle of this trio, and then this is the third one. Blue penguins has not come up yet, but I will see. So anyway, so Axolotle was my September, one of my September new starts, and so I worked on that, and it's mostly DMC. The list for all 3 patterns is the same, you know, the same list, and they're almost all used for this. There is a variegated garnet that actually I've learned since has been discontinued by DMC, but I did find it. Not, when I started the Killdeer, I didn't have it yet, so I just did, you know, just did the body, and, you know, I had like literally one day to do both new starts, you know. But so then I had like, oh, look, I have the whole month to do my other new starts for September. So I did the little axolotl. And he is missing a few stitches. His eyes look really, really, the white that you see is, well, there's one white stitch in the corner of each eye. And then what, you can see here, it looks like he's got white eyes because of these little flowers in this. This is 32 count Fleur Murano Carré. Fleur is the color, you know, colorway for this fabric. But this 32 count Murano Carré is something that Hobby Lobby used to carry, and I had several pieces of it that I used for other project. That was like, I had all the different colors that they had at the time. So I have some scraps left over. So this one was big enough for the Killdeer, the axolotl, and I think the blue penguins will fit on the other side of this. I mean, on the leftover fabric for this. But I did find the variegated garnet. So I was able to work on almost everything on this axolotl except that one blue color. That's a Weeks Dye Works Fancy Floss, that the attic, when I was there a little while back, earlier in August, I guess, or whatever it was, they didn't have it. So I think I might have to order it online or whatever. So because I need it for the rest of the Killdeer and for the blue penguin if that one comes up, because it's almost all, it's this this blue color of the penguin. It's, you know, almost, it uses a lot of it, you know, on the whole body of penguins. Anyway, so that's the color that's missing, and it's hard to see. It's like I said, it's part of his eyes, and then there's like this middle around the gold color, the middle of this ornament, and there's some little unstitched squares here that are supposed to be that blue color also. So it's missing very little. I mean, if I were to get that thread tomorrow, I'd be able to, you know, to finish this. Excuse me. But anyway, so that's the Axolotle September new start. So that's almost done. And then since I had those threads handy, I did a little bit more work on the Killdeer. That was one of last month's new starts. So this brown body color here was all I had done previously. So I did the white on his body here, and there's some little white speckles in his face up here. So I did the white there. And then the scarf he's wearing is this pink color that the axolotl's body is, this pinky color. And then that garnet color is the other color in the scarf. And there's the little fringes for the scarf. So all that's left of this Killdeer is his head, and there's, I think, 2 colors. There's his beak and eye, and then the majority of his head is this cinnamon twist color, Weeks Dye Works cinnamon twist, and then his legs are like a yellow color, gold color, whatever. And then there's like he's holding a little ornament, so there's some long stitches and lazy daisy stitches for that. And then there's 2 other Killdeer in this pattern that'll be in there. So anyway, so I did a little bit more work on the Killdeer, and that's by Jeannine McGowan of the Blue Flower. I don't know if I mentioned that. And my other new start for September was this Teresa Kogut holiday stroll. I think I showed it last week, but I had not done any of it yet. So it's Santa, and he's pulling the sled with a snowman and this little reindeer. And I hadn't pointed out, I'd forgotten, but I don't know if you can see it. In his pocket right here on this, the pocket of his robe thing is a kitty. It's a little kitty in his pocket. Anyway, so I started in this bottom left-hand corner because of the fabric that I chose. I didn't want to use, you know, like stab it in the middle and waste all the fabric around it. So I started in the bottom left-hand corner. And this is I think it's all DMC. No, there's a few Weeks Dye Works colors that I haven't gotten yet. That I think there are 3 Weeks colors, and I have 1 of them, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But so I started, like I said, in the left-hand corner, the bottom left corner, and I started with the sled here. And you can see, ooh, sorry, I keep jiggling, I keep hitting the table, and it makes my screen jiggle. There's a little bit of white here. This is a snowman. The white that's called for in the on the pattern is 3866. 3865 a lot of people use for white. 3866 is a little bit beigeier, and it looks a little, we always joke about it, looks like dirty snow. And I don't know if, I guess Teresa Kogut uses it for, you know, I don't know if she uses it for artistic purposes or whatever, but usually for white in winter scenes, I use B5200 because it's just, I like the brighter whiteness of it. And so, but 3866 is what's called for. So this is what's called for, and this is what I'm using. I don't know if you can see on holding it up this way. You can kind of see it on the fabric. This is the 3866. It looks very brown compared to B5200. So when I looked at it, it looks like dirty snow, like somebody's rolled a snowball in the dirt. And this looks a lot whiter. So when I'm stitching it against this blue 18 count 8, I'll talk about in a minute. Sorry, I'm jiggling. You can see it here. Yeah. And I think when I do the whole snowman, when I get the snowman done, and and it's sort of more stitches, you'll be able to see it better, and it'll look a little whiter. There's Santa's boot there, and this is like a long stitch of the rope that's pulling the sled. And his pants right here is one DMC color and one Weeks color, and that's the one Weeks color is one of the ones I don't have. And then the red of his jacket, I think, yeah, most of it is the other of the 3 Weeks colors. The green one on his pants, or gray or whatever, I don't have, and the majority of the color of his coat is one of the ones I don't have. So, but I don't have a goal for my new starts, so I'll just do a little more stitching on it. I've been stitching on this for the Harvest Moon Hangout, so that's however much I do for that Hangout, it'll be fine. But this fabric, this is 18 count damask Aida in light blue. It's a very pale blue color, but it's got this little kind of sheen. You can't really see it on camera, but like every other square has like a little sheen to it. So it's nice little shiny fabric. But I have this. This is I think it's like, I don't know what I have the size somewhere, but the pattern it lists the sizes here. I'm trying to find what I was looking at. Sheet. But the two sizes I was considering were sizes that I usually stitch in, either 28 or 32. But this particular piece of Aida, is 18 count, which is the equivalent of 36 count. So a 28 count piece of fabric would be a 15 by 10 would be the required size for 28 count, and that's for allowing 1 or 2 inches of margin. And 32 count would be 13.5 by 9. But this is 18 count, so it would be a little bit smaller than the 13.5 by 9. And I was trying to see if I've got the measurement of that piece of fabric. I think that fabric is like something like 17. I don't know where I got it, but probably it's someplace like Hobby Lobby. 17 by 22 was the size of this fabric. And so I don't know off the top of my head what 18 count, what size it would be required for the pattern, but it'll be plenty big for that. So anyway, that is Holiday Stroll, my other new start for this month. So then uh, at the Harvest Moon Hangout, I went to the shopping hall, and again, I was trying not to spend money because we have all the expenses around moving, but I wanted to buy something, and I still want, and I haven't looked to see if they're sold out, but I'm sure they might be. There's a couple of really cute needle minders that I was thinking about, but I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked to see if they're sold out. I think they might be just a little more money than I want to spend right now, just because like I said, I'm trying to save money for whatever unexpected expenses might come up with this move. But I did go ahead and buy a few things. I don't have a printout of the like sort of Harvest Moon Hangout little official freebie, I guess, because I have it on this computer actually, and this computer I don't think is paired with my printer yet, so you have to fiddle around and do that. And because it wasn't something I ordered, it wasn't in my email on my other computer, so whatever. But that was the case for the things I bought. So in the shopping hall, I bought the Stitch Crypt, is the name of this company, whatever. So the Stitch Crypt is the name of the designer, and the design is Under the Full Moon. And I just have, right now, I just have the cover because I'm not planning on stitching it right away. But it's this owl, it's such a beautiful owl, and a full moon and a lantern and some a tree branch and some greenery. That owl is so beautiful. It's stitched on chalkboard gray, I think. Yeah, chalkboard black, excuse me, by Witchelt. 60 count chalkboard black by Witchelt. And I believe it uses all DMC threads. So yeah, it looks like there's some fireflies or something around right here, around this lantern. Yeah, and it's just, anyway, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous pattern. So yeah, I went ahead and bought that. And then the other thing I got, it was a freebie. And don't want to show the pattern. So this picture is kind of small, but it's a haunting freebie. And it's got a raven and some candelabras and all that. And so the quote says, "Never mind, quoth the passive-aggressive raven." No, it's really cute. And it looks like it uses all DMC threads, and there's only like seven colors maybe. So yeah, you can kind of see it through there. But yeah, that's the passive-aggressive raven. Nevermind, I guess, is the name of the actual pattern. But so yeah, so that was kind of fun. And the other reason I didn't print it off is because my printer is a little bit low on, I mean, I print off the other one, the owl one, is because my printer is a little low on colored ink, and I don't want to go down that path right now. So yeah, so my axolotle is all but finished. My holiday stroll is, has started. So technically, I've met my goals for September because I finished the other two patterns. So, I could maybe, possibly start on one of those other projects. But, like I said, I don't know that I want to get all that involved in, what's coming up. But so in a few days, it'll be time for the October numbers to be announced for WIPGO. And I only have, what do we have left? Like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. October, November, December, 6. Only have 6 projects left for WIPGO, 6 squares. And yeah, a couple of them, 3 of them are part of that Year in the Woods patterns, and some other things like that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so I think that is all I have for now, and I'm going to try to get back to the Harvest Moon Hangout today. And yeah, so that's all. That's all I can think of now. So thanks for watching, and this is going to be another quickie update, just 30 minutes or so. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. I think I've got it all mentioned that I wanted to do, except that like I am anticipating the October numbers that'll be coming out in 5 days, basically, because today's the 20th. Yeah. So, and my sister and I, when we went out to look at the house that my nephew is planning to put an offering on, we were on the way back, we were like, well, there's the Dutch Brothers, there's a McDonald's, there's a various restaurants and stores, and the one thing we were looking for was, is there a Hobby Lobby nearby? It looks like there is, so so it's not to, we're trying to get our bearings of what we're gonna have to adapt to as if wherever we end up moving to. But anyway, so that is all I have for now, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next week, by which time I will know the October numbers, and yeah, we'll see from there. All right, so I'll see you next time. Bye.